8 classes, almost a year and a half of cooking demonstrations with Alliance Française. We've done everything from moelleux au chocolat to la grande aioli, and now and baguettes, of course. And I'm really excited to share the recipe for les Petits Farcis Niçois, or les Petits Farcis Provençale, because it has a special place in our heart. Sebastian's grandmother, Mamie Pierrette, made the best Petits Farcis, and I always requested them whenever we would go to her house. She sadly passed this year, and so making les Petits Farcis is really a way for us to keep her very, very close. And this is her recipe. This is the traditional, authentic way that you do les Petits Farcis. Now, of course, the way that she did it is even more labor intensive than the way that we're going to do it. She had a butcher shop when she was living in Toulon, and would take the pork and grind it by hand in the meat grinder in her little kitchen. And so we're not doing that. We bought ground pork and we bought ground beef, but that's how Mamie Pierrette would start les Petits Farcis Niçois. She would grind the meat by hand. Les Petits Farcis Niçois are essentially summer vegetables that are stuffed with a savory pork and beef mixture. We just pulled these out of the oven. I'm so excited to make them with you and show you how we make this recipe from scratch. And you will see your kitchen will smell absolutely amazing, and this one too. Your kitchen will smell absolutely amazing, and it's just the most wonderful summer dish. It's also a very convivial dish. Everyone feels happy when they're eating les Petits Farcis Niçois, in my opinion, because they're just so joyous. So we're really excited to make them with you. We're going to start first, and it requires some preparation. And this is something that Pierrette would always tell me. She would say, "Ma belle, les petits farcis, ça prend du travail." And so she's right. It requires a little bit of work to make les petits farcis. You've got to individually sear each vegetable, and you've got to prepare the stuffing, but afterwards it is so worth it. And you pop it in the oven, and an hour and 15 minutes later, and you have an incredible dish to share. They can also be prepared in advance. So what we like to do is that we'll eat them tomorrow, and they're going to be even better tomorrow. So feel free to keep them for a while. So we're going to start actually. So here we have our summer vegetables. We have onions. We're going to use 2 onions. We're going to use these peppers, so multicolored peppers. We have zucchini and eggplant and tomatoes, which we're going to use for to stuff as well. And then we have fresh oregano from our garden. Smells so good. If you don't have fresh oregano, then you can use dry oregano. And then we also have parsley, and an entire bouquet of parsley. It really brings flavor into la farce. Okay, so we're going to start by actually putting the whole onions. We're going to take 2 white onions, and we're going to put them whole in the boiling water so that they begin to cook. And we're going to let them cook for 15 minutes. If you've done my cooking classes before, you know I'm using my microwave timer all the time. And we're also going to add a bay leaf into the water for flavor. Do you want to cut the vegetables, Chef?
Let's start with the red bell pepper. We just cut in half. Oh.
So what's your first memory of Pierrette making the Petits Farcis Niçois for you?
When I was a kid, because we only choose the vegetable in the market.
Oh, fun.
Because we choose our vegetable in the market, it's very, very nice memories. In Toulon, we have a big, big market, all of the year, every day of the week. It was very, very special.
Has anyone been to Toulon? So Toulon is a port city in the south of France. It is down the coastline from Saint-Tropez and next to, and before you hit Marseille. And that's where Sébastien grew up. And they have one of the most incredible open air markets along that goes towards the port of Toulon. And Toulon is a military town that has one of the largest naval fleets of France, c'est ça? And so it's an incredible town for getting fresh fish, fresh vegetables, really an incredible bounty of fruits and vegetables and fish in Toulon, which is where you learn to cook.
Yes.
I saw a question and I didn't catch it quick enough. Did you see it, Natasha?
I'm sure. I think people are responding to a question about Toulon. Malheureusement, non, pas encore. But hopefully sometime. That was Sabrina Huffman who said that. And what do you think about Natasha? Can you make the video larger and one gallery can get off?
EU and we're in small. There we go.
Now the tomatoes, we cut this in the sense of the globe, dans le sens du globe, on the bottom and on the top, you know, to be sure it doesn't move. Zucchini, we wash it first for sure. We just cut top, bottom. Cut in half. And after we cut one more time in half.
So we're creating little boats for our sausage mix.
Excuse me, I will interfere. I'm Sarah, the Executive Director of Alliance Française. Linda, please, when you are on, if you suppress the chat, you close the chat and you look at your top hand corner, it says view, you click on view and then you can choose gallery because we cannot put it into speaker view or gallery view for you. So when you open it, you click on speaker view and then you're going to be on speaker view and you will see Anina and Chef Sébastien. Also, we cannot monitor your own computer. We can only monitor our side, okay?
Yes, I understand that, but up and under view, I only have speaker and gallery.
Okay, click on speaker and then you'll be on speaker view.
Okay, thank you.
For the tomato, we are going to take the inside and keep the inside to, after that, mix in our stuffing. I keep some pieces of the red bell pepper, yellow bell peppers. We are going to keep the inside of the zucchini. And let's start, you know, with the tomato. With a small knife, you are going to do like vertical thing, like that, very slowly, to just take off the inside. You can see both of them. We put the tomato in one bowl.
So you don't need to completely empty the tomato. You want to leave some tomato in there, and because it really creates this incredible mixture with the sausage mixer. And we're keeping the inside so that we can mix it with the sausage mix.
For the zucchini, you take a small spoon, you know, like a coffee spoon, and you just take the zucchini in your second hand, and you are going to take just the middle, like that, to create a small boat.
Just very lightly. No, thank you. Oui.
And do you keep the insides or not?
Yes, we keep the inside because we are going to use this to put in our stuffing.
Okay.
It will really add a nice flavor to the stuffing.
Mm. And what about the tomatoes? What are the best tomatoes? Because I feel like kind of makes a difference depending on what on the tomato.
So definitely use like if you can find tomatoes at the farmer's market or a big park tomato, that's really nice. But we do find that sometimes if they're not 100% ripe, it holds up better when cooking, right? You don't want them to be the really soft tomato that you would use for making a caprese salad, for example. You want them to be just a little bit underripe.
Thank you.
So which one is your favorite vegetable for les petits farcis?
Tomatoes and onions.
Which is why we did extra tomatoes and onions. They're my favorite too, so I think we're going to be fighting over those ones. So you can see they're not actually that deep, right? You're just pulling out, I would say about 1 inch in that you're going to put the stuff in. And then we're taking a big baking platter and we're going to put them in the baking platter afterwards after we sear the vegetables. So we have the onions that are boiling in the water with the sage, or the bay leaf, sorry.
Now I'm going to start with the garlic. We are going to cut the garlic very thinly. We keep, you know, the vegetables, you know, the leftover, you know, to mix. The garlic, take off the skin, cut in half. What you can do, you know, it's with the bottom of your knife, you know, just press it one time to press like that. It will help you after to cut, you know, and you just slice it.
Sébastien, can you please move a little bit to your left?
Like that?
Yeah.
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
So this is a challenge that we have with these cooking classes every single time is we have a small galley kitchen. So definitely the rule, you do not need a big kitchen to cook well. You would see in France, most kitchens are the size of like an American pantry closet, not a pantry closet, because a lot of American pantry closets are very big, but they'd be the size of a linen closet. And they make the most incredible food out of it. And they don't have a lot of dry goods that they stock as well. And fridges aren't very big as well. So in France, you really do not need a big kitchen to cook well. However, when you're doing live cooking shows, a galley kitchen is a challenge. So if anyone is in videography and has some recommendations of how to best film in a galley kitchen, I'm welcome to your recommendations.
For the garlic, we need 4 garlic cloves to be sure it gives, you know, a lot of taste for the stuffing, you know. Don't hesitate, you know, the garlic cook very well with the beef, you know, and the sausages meat, you know, the ground meat, it's very nice.
And garlic is a main ingredient in Provençal foods, but the importance is to cook it well. And a lot of Provençal foods are either stewed or baked in the oven, cooked for a long time, and so it really breaks down the garlic.
And what you're boiling right now is the onions, correct?
Just the onions, yes.
Why? Because onion take more time, you know, than the other vegetables to cook. And first, you want to have the onion already cooked, you know, all the way to be sure it's the same texture of the zucchini, tomatoes, eggplant, you know, red bell pepper, green bell pepper. This is why it's always interesting to boil it first.
So another signature of French cooking is that they really place a big importance on texture. And so we are cooking the vegetables. Some are cooked for a little bit less time because they take less cooking time. So we'll pay more attention to cooking time, for example. The tomatoes and the courgette are going in after the rest. Oh, sorry, the tomatoes and the peppers are going in after the zucchini and the eggplant and the onions, because the zucchini or eggplant and onions take the longest to cook. Merci. Donc c'est pour la farce. C'est moi qui fais la farce.
Toi qui fais la farce, et je vais couper les petits légumes.
I asked him if it's me who's doing the stuffing. I really like doing the stuffing. I like getting my hands dirty in the stuffing.
For the garlic, you can use this on the processor.
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to do the parsley and the oregano in the processor?
Yeah, I can use
Okay.
it by hand.
By hand? Okay. He very rarely uses a food processor. Another reason why French kitchens have a lot less space is because we use very few kitchen tools. What takes up the most space is our collection of Le Creuset and Mauviel cooking pots. Apart from that, it's really knife skills, and learning basic knife skills is really helpful for doing things quickly. You can see here, move this down a little bit. He's rather quick at using the knife. I've gotten quite good, but not as quick as he is. So this is a mixture of the eggplant and the peppers and the tomatoes all together that's going to go into the stuffing and make it even more moist and flavorful.
Yes.
So the stuffing, we have half a pound of beef and half a pound of ground pork. And we're going to mix everything in there. Je peux ajouter l'ail?
Oui.
Okay, so this is the 4 cloves of garlic. It's going in there.
Yep. Voilà.
4 cloves of garlic are going directly in with the stuffing. Merci, Mama. Does that sit here? There we are. So 4 cloves of garlic in here. Then we're also adding the mixture of vegetables. This was just the remnants of vegetables. This is not a precise science. And then we are adding salt. The recipe calls for 1 teaspoon of salt. We also add some pepper. This is Sebastian's competition pepper grinder that he has had for how many years? 20 years. It's great for grinding pepper. It's a Peugeot. And then we also have a little bit of ground nutmeg, just to add some flavor. And then we have oregano from our garden and parsley as well. The parsley is not from our garden. It is not growing very well at this moment. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to mix it all together with my hands. Probably could have used a bigger bowl. So the oregano, he removed the oregano leaves from the stalk. And he's just chopping the oregano leaves. And I'm getting a really nice mixture of beef and pork and all the vegetables. It reminds me of kneading bread, actually. Thank you.
How much dried oregano? Margaret is asking. Been cooking with us.
No, so I have a half a teaspoon of dried oregano, or 1 tablespoon if it's fresh, chopped finely. And lots of parsley. So I put an entire bouquet of parsley in there. And also thyme. I forgot to go out and get the thyme in the garden, but also add thyme to this mixture. I always forget one thing in the when I'm doing the prep. N'est-ce pas, chérie? It feels like kneading bread. I love this. Yes, you can of course use only thyme and not oregano if that's your preference. You can add different spices if you'd like. If you like to add some peppers, you can add that too. There's not a lot of peppers in Provençal cooking. They go more for the flavors of the herbs than going for spice, but you are absolutely welcome to add spice.
Pour couper le persil, on prend toujours l'extrémité du couteau ici et là.
En anglais?
Tu peux traduire comme ça.
So to cut parsley, he's using it as if you would use a comment on appelle ça?
Hachoir.
Hachoir. I don't know how to say that in English. If anyone knows how to say that in English, one of those knives that is round, that you like, that rocks back and forth. If you don't have one, we don't have one. We're using the knife by holding it on each end and kind of like rocking it back and forth a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Can I add this in?
Pour les oignons, je coupe encore un peu pour enlever les oignons.
Okay.
Sonner, là.
My hands are full of meat. 1 second.
The onions are going to be ready. We just take them off from the water. We put them in the bowl. The time they chill a little bit. And as you can see, the skin, already came off, very easily.
Oh, so you were cooking with the skin. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And the skin just falls right off. So it's actually a trick as well if you don't want to peel onions. I can take that away. Okay. So I'm going to try like you were saying. We're just chopping very finely.
I feel like for that, the knife should be very sharp too. That's very important.
Having a sharp knife, a mezzaluna. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Having a sharp knife is important for everything. It should, we have a very small knife collection, or I have a small knife collection. He has a big knife collection, but I never touch his knives because A, that would be bad luck. And B, they are very, very, very sharp and are very dangerous. His knife collection has been with him since he was an apprentice in France.
More bigger. This one is the chef's knife, bigger and more sharp. Too big.
I don't need to use that. I like my fingers and would like to keep them. So I'm going to avoid that knife. Not that I've ever cut myself on a knife. It's quite funny. He's so paranoid about me cutting myself that he always makes sure that I secure the cutting board. And this is a note, always secure your cutting board. We use these little jar gaskets that go underneath our cutting board. And then we have this big, thick plastic cutting board that goes in the dishwasher as well. Everything is linked to my blog. If you go to lechefswife.com, you will see Le Chef's Web Kitchen Essentials, and everything is linked there for all the tools that we use every day. This question, what is your preferred way of sharpening? Je peux mettre ça dedans?
Oui, tu peux.
What's your preferred way of sharpening your knives, babe?
À la pierre, with a stone. With a stone like that.
He's going to get his stone. He sharpens all our knives.
With a stone. You see, a stone like that, and you can make this yourself. You know, it's very nice. A stone.
So now I've got the ground pork and beef mixture with the vegetables and the spices, and I just put the parsley in with it, and now I'm just going to mix it all up even further, making sure I'm really getting that parsley in there. This is a really nice stress reliever, I find.
Sabrina is asking if Le Chef ever uses electric sharpener.
No.
I suppose that. No.
Yeah, no. It's, you know, first, you know, he wasn't straight, you know, sur le fil de la lame.
Ouais.
Comment on appelle ça? Le fil de la lame, en dessous.
The fil de la lame, I have no idea. The metal wire.
The edge of the
Yeah,
blade.
you
The
see,
edge
you
of
know,
the blade.
yes, the edge of the blade, you know, the
Thank you,
top
Sarah.
here, you know, it's never straight, you know. This is why on the stone, you can have an inclination, you know, 40, 50, and it gives you, you know, more power to have the affûtage.
To sharpen.
Margaret is asking if you added already the vegetable leftovers into the mixture or not yet.
Yes, I did. So this is what the mixture is looking like right now. So you've got the little bits of vegetable that are in there, and you also have the parsley, and you have the thyme and the oregano, salt and pepper, and nutmeg. And it already smells really, really good. Tu as besoin de ça pour couper après?
Non, on a besoin de ça pour
Okay.
poêler les légumes. The onion, now you know that they're chilled a little bit. You can just take off the skin more easily. You take off the bottom like that. Hop. The first première couche.
Faut que tu recules.
And what if someone doesn't eat pork? Do you think it will still be good just with beef, or shall we add something else?
Yes, it will be good with just with beef.
Could you also do ground turkey or chicken?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. If you wanted to make it a lighter dish, you could also do ground turkey.
The onion.
It has less fat in it though, so just what would you suggest so that it's more moist, the turkey?
Just the turkey, you know, with more olive oil.
Always the Provençal trick is to add more olive oil. You could do lamb as well. Absolutely, lamb would be amazing.
Yes, that will be good.
I mean, there's so many things you could do with this. You could add your own Moroccan spices into it. You could make as many variations as you would like. It's essentially a great meatball inside a vegetable. And you can choose to make it gluten-free as well if you don't use breadcrumbs, like we're using in the recipe. His mammy always used breadcrumbs from yesterday's baguette. But if you're not using breadcrumbs, then they could be absolutely gluten-free as well. And carb-free if you're doing keto. Right, babe?
Yes.
So we're going to sear the vegetables. Ah, okay, pardon. He's going to cut the onions first.
Diane is asking if you can use rice instead of breadcrumbs.
Yes,
Yes.
definitely. There's a lot of variations to it, and rice would be very good. This is Mammy's traditional recipe.
Yes. Now we can sear the vegetable.
So Mammy always had baguettes in the house, and she would never throw away bread. The onions are cut widthwise, so he cut them across the center like this.
Thanks. I had the same question. Yes.
I've also cut them lengthwise. Actually, I think in the recipe I say lengthwise because he's shown me the other way too, which I think also works very well for both. Either way works.
Oui, un petit peu.
So we're putting some olive oil in the pan for you.
And why do we sear the vegetables? Because it gives you, more taste. For example, for the onion, they were just boiled. They are going to be, braised in the oven. It's always good, to give some caramelization. First, you are going to extract all of the juice, of the water, and it gives you a lot of taste. This is why it will be amazing, When you have the onion like that, keep the inside. We are going to take it off later. But when we are going to sear it, you are going to have all of the taste of the vegetation juice, here and then with all of the vegetable. For example, the zucchini, the water of the tomatoes, it will be amazing. Let's start with the onion. Some olive oil in your pan. Very hot. Just always be careful when you put the onion to do not burn yourself, just put, on this side.
And you're using the cast iron, right?
No, that's a non-stick pan, actually.
Ah, non-stick, okay.
It's black, but it's a non-stick. You can use the stainless steel pan for this as well.
Yes, you can.
Yeah. It's the largest pan we have, so that's why we're using it.
After, we are going to put the zucchini at the same time.
So you could absolutely use tongs for this. He's using his fingers because he doesn't feel anything in his fingers anymore. But I would use tongs.
And why it's very important, to sear them before? Because on the pan, when we put them on the oven, it's braised, and you want the vegetation juice, natural as possible. Does that mean you want the water, of the vegetable like that? I don't know if you can see the juice on the pan here. No, probably not, but let's take a spoon. You see the juice here? This one? This is just, the fat of the meat, plus the vegetation juice. And it's perfect because you don't want to have more fat, more water, or fond de veau, something like that.
So Mammy's trick would always be when she would make a Petits Farcis, she would also make rice at the same time. And then she would take a Petits Farcis out of the pan and she would fold the rice in with the pan drippings. And it was just really yummy rice.
You want a light coloration,
And just to make it clear, you didn't add any onions yet into the mixture, right? Only garlic.
No, why? Because we just keep, the water of the vegetable, the garlic, the onion, sorry, it will take more time to cook, than the meat. And you will have this sensation when you are going to take a bite that your onion is raw, you don't want to have that because garlic, it's enough.
The smell in this kitchen is already incredible. The onions that are searing and the vegetables. Good. And these are all summer vegetables right now. So I had a question on my blog as well. If you can do this in the barbecue, you absolutely can. Yeah. If you do not want to turn on the oven in the middle of summer, which I completely understand, it's a little bit hot in here today.
Coloration of this one, it's perfect. Did you see?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, we see.
This is just enough and it's perfect.
So if you were doing this in the barbecue, you could sear the vegetables on the hot plate if you have a hot plate, and then you would put them in aluminum foil, right? In an aluminum foil dish, and cover it with aluminum foil, put it in the barbecue. Hi, Valentina. Now you're adding the eggplant in there.
Yeah.
He left the top on the eggplant, and that's just for visual effects, of course. Tu saisis l'extérieur aussi ou juste l'intérieur?
Juste l'intérieur.
He's just searing the inside. In the recipe I wrote searing the inside and the outside. It's really dependent of taste, no? Mm-hmm. He likes it to, yeah, he's just searing the inside. I sear the inside and the outside. It's really as you choose.
For the onion, you take the same spoon, and you just take the inside, and it can directly, alone like that. You see? It can very easy.
So how many couches do you leave? How many layers do you actually leave on the?
3 layers.
3, okay.
Just the outside.
This is the best one. Look at that. Look at this small onion. 3 layers, cooked 15 minutes, braised on the oven with the stuffing. Amazing.
French cooking requires often some more steps, but they are worth it. They really are worth it. The taste is completely different than if you put a raw onion with the stuffing inside it and put it in the oven. I see stuffed vegetable recipes online, and many say to do that, expecting that the oven will cook the vegetable at the same time as the stuffing. But if you really want that fondant vegetable, there's like several more steps, but they are worth it. It's so tasty. Des poivrons? Want me to put them in? Okay. We're gonna sear the peppers at the same time too. On a barbecue, this would be really nice, actually. You could sear them directly on the grill.
On one of your pictures, I actually saw that you left the stems of the peppers as well. So sometimes for the visual effect, right, you can do that as well.
Yes.
Looks very, very beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Especially when they are very small, you know, it's nice.
The smell of les petits farcis that we've been cooking all day, so the ones that we had in the oven before the class that we just took out before the class, and these ones, I mean, I can't wait to dive into them. Exciting. Who's cooking with us? Is anyone cooking with us today? I actually can't see them.
I'm
Margaret,
here.
oh, Diane, Margaret, Joe.
I see everybody now. Sorry, I was in a different view. Oh, this is so cool. Hi, everybody. Thank you for turning on your cameras. We'd love that. We'd love to see you cooking with us, and we love to see your kitchens. And let me know where you're cooking from, where you are in the world,
Yes.
and what your favorite French dishes as well. Would love to know.
Look at that. So you can show this machine.
Yeah.
Comment on fait ça?
These are really beautiful. I mean, like, it's so simple, but so good. I get excited about fresh summer vegetables. So I'm gonna be the one stuffing them. I actually did a variation of this recipe once as well. 1 second. I did a variation of this recipe in fall using a stuffed squash and using wild rice in the mixture as well. And it was really, really yummy. I should put that up on the blog for this fall. Hello from Culpeper. I've never been to Culpeper before.
The inside, you know, of the onion, if you want, you can put this on the plate, you know, it will give you more taste, you know, at the cooking time. It's okay. Okay, look at that.
Beautiful.
Voilà.
Thanks, babe. So I'm gonna move this over here.
Yes. Attention,
Thank
c'est
you.
chaud, il faut mettre la...
La plaque.
Attendez, ça va brûler un petit peu, il faut attendre 30 secondes.
Okay.
We are small.
We have an induction oven, which we absolutely love. Hello, Arlington. Merci beaucoup, Margaret. C'est gentil.
We love Arlington. Is that in Virginia? We love everywhere else. We live over there.
He's joking. We lived in Roslyn when we first moved to DC. Our first apartment was in Roslyn, and we lived there for 2.5 years. Our daughter was born there, not in the
Yes.
apartment, but yeah. Do you think I can put it down now? Is it too hot?
Too hot.
Too hot. Okay. So I'm going to move this down a little bit so you can see a little bit better. 1 second.
You can put this, but fais attention de ne pas mettre la main dessus.
Non, je vais faire attention. Je vais pas le faire pour l'instant. You're just gonna see me without a head, but that's okay while I'm stuffing the vegetables because it's really important that you, I mean, it's not that technical. I'm just taking a little bit in my hands like this. I'm gonna roll it around a little bit and make a little bit of a meatball. That's what it looks like. And I'm gonna stuff each vegetable, which actually I first need to put, oh, that is hot. I first olive oil. Especially.
C'est ça en premier. Et la fleur de sel.
Et la fleur de sel, so olive oil and fleur de sel.
It's very important to put the fleur de sel and olive oil inside the vegetable, you know, because you need to have a seasoning inside. We season, you know, the stuffing, but you need to have a fleur de sel in the zucchini, tomato, eggplant, onion.
So I have my little meatball, and I'm going to plop it right in that tomato. Je vais travailler là, en fait, parce qu'il voit pas ma tête. And so I'm going to make the meatballs in the size of the vegetable. This one for the zucchini, I'm making a little bit longer, like this.
We also have Sue who says bonjour from Bonita Springs, Florida.
Hi, Sue.
And we have Caitlin from Wilmette, Illinois.
From where?
From, Caitlin from Illinois.
Oh, hello. Welcome. I love that this is an Alliance Française DC class and people from all over the world have joined us. Sorry, now I'm moving this up so you can still
Je
see.
peux montrer les aubergines avancées après.
Okay.
Celle-là, celle-là.
I mean, look how beautiful this looks, right? This is, of course, it's going to look even better once it's cooked, but I think like the coloration of that eggplant is just really beautiful. Well done.
Yes. Don't forget that to answer to the question at the beginning, when you put, ground meat of lamb, it will be more fatty inside. You are going to lose more fat. It's very important, After, if you put turkey or chicken, ground turkey, ground chicken, it will be more dry. This is why, don't hesitate sometimes, to put a little bit of olive oil, in the stuffing, or, milk, if you want to put later sur le dessus.
Tu veux qu'on mette dedans?
Sur le dessus, on va le mettre dessus. Comme
Okay. I forgot to put the breadcrumbs in the stuffing as I was making it because you're supposed to put half the breadcrumb. I'm going to put a little bit.
You can put on the top,
Yeah, you put half the breadcrumbs in with the mixture and you mix it in. And then the breadcrumbs go, because it's a half cup of breadcrumbs. So a quarter cup goes in the mixture. And then a quarter cup will be ground finally on top of the les petits farcis. Again, this is optional. If you don't want to use breadcrumbs, if you want to keep it keto friendly and gluten-free, you can absolutely avoid the breadcrumbs.
Yes. I can't wait to try the first batch because they smell so well. Very good.
Julie from Southern California, that's so cool. Like, this is amazing. This is a DC cooking class and that everyone from all over the world is here is very cool.
Yeah, Linda is from California as well. And Sandra says bonjour from New Jersey. So yes, exactly, all over the country.
We were just in New Jersey. We did a road trip.
Yes.
7.5 hours driving from DC to Boston with 2 kids that are 4 and under. OMG, on the long weekend.
I like to drive across America to see all of the landscape and everything. I like that. Very nice. Very nice.
We didn't see much of New Jersey past the New Jersey Turnpike, unfortunately. But we do hope to spend more time in New Jersey because it's right close, actually. Russ?
Look at that.
Oh, we stayed in Princeton.
Yeah. Look at that. C'est beau ça.
C'est super beau.
Un peu plus.
He's quality control. He's making sure that I put.
Un petit peu plus. Et là, juste une nichette là comme ça.
Juste une nichette. Okay. I'm gonna.
Ils sont beaux. Ils sont beaux.
T'es content? Aww.
Ils sont beaux.
I can tell from his eyes as he's looking at this, he's thinking of his grandmother, and this is.
Tu veux montrer le premier plat?
Oui. Tu veux mettre l'huile d'olive sur celui-là?
Oui.
So this is the first plate of les petits farcis. So you've got them generously stuffed with the meat mixture, and then we're going to put this in the oven. But we're actually, because now we've mixed up the plates a little bit, we're going to take the tomatoes out of this one.
Non, remplis d'abord déjà. Remplis.
Oui, okay.
Remplis déjà, remplis.
Okay. Oh, hold on. Putting these here. Going to continue filling them up with very ample.
I like to put the crème at the end because it gives you a little bit of crispy on the top, like that.
The breadcrumbs?
Breadcrumbs, not too much on the stuffing, a little bit on the top.
So we have a couple of questions, the same questions about for how long you can keep them in the fridge once they're done.
The what?
How long can you keep them in the fridge?
Once they're done.
Oh, when they are cooked or when they are raw?
When they're cooked.
No, I think at this moment, actually.
Oh, right now?
Like that, you can keep them for 1 day, If your ground meat is very fresh, 1 day is good.
But
Okay.
one
Not more than that,
Mhm.
And what-
And maybe when it's cooked, for how long can you keep it before you can warm it up, for example?
You keep this for 4 days if you want, but the Petits Farcis are always better, the day after that, it's very nice.
Yes.
Yeah,
So 4 days, Linda, you can keep them for
Yeah.
4 days in the fridge.
Because it's a ground meat all the way cooked, with the vegetation juice, and you don't have a exterior material, you don't have milk or raw egg inside. It's just a ground meat already cooked. It's perfect. If you put
Thank you.
or milk, I will say, 48 hours maximum, but not more than that. Look at that, they are nice. Huh?
Yes,
Bravo,
but a lot of them, so that's why people may want to split it in between several meals, maybe.
True, and so this is great. Like, we love serving this for Bastille Day because it's a party dish. You can bring it out and everyone's really, really happy.
Yes, look at that. Very nice. Very nice.
Tu mets les croustilles par-dessus?
We also have Israel Travina from South Texas. Hello.
Hello.
This is absolutely amazing. All different parts of America. All cooking with Anina Belle and Sébastien Giannini. And we have Jolie here who says, I found your classes as my daughter was preparing for a month-long trip to Paris. She's there studying French right now. That's so cool.
Oh, is she? Oh, that's very cool. And hello, Lisette. Lisette had a question.
If you use rice, should it be fully cooked?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it's very important. And don't forget that the rice are going to take all of the fat of the meat, inside. This is why you don't want to put too much rice, because it will be too dry after that. Not good to dry, not good.
We understand that? Not good.
Hello, Connecticut.
You know
Hello,
that
Renee from Connecticut.
Is that the third
Hi.
time I went on the back of the kitchen to touch exactly the same zucchini because I'm ready to eat.
You're so right. Which one is yours? So we're gonna put them all in the oven at the same time. In the recipe, actually, you would put in. Can I?
Yeah, you can.
I can do like it's supposed to. Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna take these out. I'll put them in the mobile. No.
Yes, so you can just put them on the plate, Ah non, pour cuire?
Pour cuire?
No.
No.
You can use it. Yeah, you can use this one.
These are his very special plates. The Mauviel, it's amazing for Sol Meunier. He gets a little bit nervous every single time I touch one. As if I'm going to break this. I mean, come on, it's a copper pan.
We are not going to use this one.
Okay. Can I take this then? No.
Yes, you can use this one if you want the wrong one.
Okay. He's a little bit finicky with this pan.
I'm going to give you this one. It's a Mauviel too, but
It was my Christmas present. I'm so glad that he's sharing it with me. Thank you. Okay, so I'm putting these, taking the tomato out, and also the peppers, because they will cook in less time.
les asperges, on les congèle aussi.
C'est pas ce que j'ai dit dans la recette. What's amazing is that all these recipes are from me sitting down with my husband to write down his recipes, and I'm writing down as he's doing them. What I find hilarious is that when we recreate them, he always does it a little bit differently. So it's always an adjustment. It's like working with an artist, right?
Jan was asking if you sear the zucchinis before taking out the insides. No, you first take out the insides, right? And then you sear them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because inside of the zucchini, tomatoes, you want to have this raw to put on the stuffing.
So we're going to take this pan and we're going to put it directly in the oven. So here we have zucchinis and eggplant and onions.
It's nice, huh? Look at that. You love it?
And we're going to put this in the oven.
Look at that.
In the middle rack at 375. And then we are not going to touch this for 1 hour and 15 minutes.
Yes.
In 20 minutes.
Very important to have the oven already hot.
Yes.
If you put your Petits Farcis, when you just put on of your oven, it doesn't work. You are going to have 15, 20 minutes more. This is why the 1 hour, 15 minutes, it's very important to have the oven already hot, you know, since 30 minutes before you put on the oven.
What's the temperature?
375, so that it's a hot oven. I had a garlic clove here. Oh, there it is. He's eating le Petit Farcis already. So in 20 minutes, we would put the peppers in. We may not wait a full 20 minutes. I'm going to show you how we make, as an extra bonus, vinaigrette à l'ail. This is my husband's absolute favorite vinaigrette. It is just with raw garlic, olive oil, balsamic vinegar, and a little bit of salt. We don't use bottled dressings. We always make our own dressing. It's actually really simple to make a dressing. It's more about ratios than anything else. If you like a vinaigrette that's a little bit tart, you would do 1 quantity of balsamic vinegar to 3 of oil, or of 2 of oil. But if you like it a little bit less tart, then it would be 1 of vinegar to 3 of oil. So I would use either tablespoons or teaspoons, depending on how many people you're cooking for. So his vinaigrette is very simple. J'ai une planche. 1 second.
Ça, tu le mets pas au four.
Je vais les mettre au four dans quelques minutes. So we're going to use a cutting board, and I'm going to finely chop 2 cloves of garlic. When I'm chopping garlic, I leave them peeled and just chop off the ends. I'm going to move this down a little bit so you can see me a little bit better. I just chop off the ends, and then it's really easy to peel the garlic with the ends chopped off. Now, if you have a little bit of green that's coming out of the garlic, like I do, then you just make sure that you are cutting out, or you're taking out that little green stalk that's inside the garlic, because that's really bitter. And people mistake that sometimes they think garlic is bitter. It's actually the little green stalk that's in there. You can just pull it out with your fingernail. Comes right out. That's bitter, and you don't want that in your vinaigrette. And I'm going to do this for the second one. And my husband loves garlic, so this is so I use 2 cloves. You can use 1 clove of garlic as well.
To come back at the question, Natasha, if you want to keep the Petits Farcis for 1 day on the fridge, you know, after they were cooked, it's very important that when you reheat them, you put a glass of water in the pan. Why? Because you are going to have more moisture, you know, on the stuffing, you know, and the vegetable. And sometimes it's very interesting to les arroser.
To bathe them?
Yeah, with a little bit, you know, of this water inside to be sure it's not too dry. If you keep them 1 day in the refrigerator.
So you would recommend that we reheat in the oven?
Yes, because with a glass of water in the pan, to be sure after tu peux les arroser.
Wait. Okay, so I have my garlic is finely chopped. Make it nice and fine. And I'm going to add it directly to a little mixing bowl. My husband is in the corner eating les petits farcis.
They are very good. They are good. They are very good.
You're ruining the display, babe. We don't have the other ones that are cooked. You eat half of them.
It's okay.
So just garlic in the bottom of the bowl.
So how many cloves was that? I
2
missed.
cloves of garlic. And I'm going to add about a few pinches of salt. And then we're going to add, I will measure.
Salad à l'ail is my favorite. Garlic salad. Alors, you have a question?
Oh, I don't know where my measuring spoons are. Of course, when you can, oh, there they are. So I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of balsamic vinegar for 4 teaspoons of olive oil. Because it's important that a vinaigrette is well balanced.
Right.
He's still eating le petit farcis over in the corner. There's going to be nothing left.
J'arrête.
So 1, 2.
J'arrête.
Are they good? Yeah. for. And then what's always important with the vinaigrette is to mix well. So just mixing.
So that was 4 teaspoons of olive oil and 2 teaspoons of balsamic vinegar.
1 teaspoon of balsamic vinegar and 4 teaspoons of olive oil.
Okay, 1, 2, 4. Thank you. Merci.
And the salt,
And there was a pinch of salt. Very good. Tu veux goûter?
Parfait, comme j'aime.
C'est parfait. And then you just take, and this is always really important, is you take the lettuce and you mix it directly with the vinaigrette. We don't pour the vinaigrette on top of salad. So much in France, we really mix the salad with the vinaigrette so that it's
on the board,
well coated.
Yes.
And I did I did a full deep dive of salad recipes with the Salad Saturday series. And you can still upload or download my summer salad recipe cookbook if you sign up on my blog. There's a pop-up where it asks you if you want to sign up for the recipe ebook when you go to my blog. So please do. There's beautiful salads that are in that recipe ebook, and it's a beautiful printable book. And then you just mix the salad. He's happy. So
Linda's asking if you ever add Dijon mustard to your vinaigrette.
Absolutely. That would be, so this one, à l'ail, I don't add Dijon mustard because the Dijon mustard and the garlic would be too harsh, having both flavors. If I'm doing a vinaigrette without the garlic, then I would definitely add Dijon mustard as well. I also like to add honey if I'm doing like a honey vinaigrette. The base, you keep the base of the 1 balsamic vinegar and 4 oil, and then you can add variations and you can add fresh herbs and you can add all different kinds of things.
With the mustard vinaigrette, if you made a vinaigrette with that, don't hesitate to put a little bit of water, ça va la délayer. If you put olive oil or another type of oil, it will be an emulsion. If you put a little bit of water, it will help in the consistent. Very nice.
So I'm going to put actually the second plate of tomatoes and peppers in the oven.
In my pan.
In my pan. It was my Christmas present.
Okay.
And show you what it looks like right now. So many minutes. Voilà. Thank you.
Look at that. Look at that.
So we're still an hour away from cooking, but they're starting to look really, really good.
But they are nice. They are very nice. Very nice.
Who are we inviting for dinner? We have twice the recipe here. So I have a feeling that there is going to be a few people that receive Petits Farcis in our neighborhood. Okay, so we're gonna plate.
Yes.
Assiette blanche, assiette bleue.
Assiette blanche.
Assiette blanche, chef. So I asked him if it was a white plate or a blue plate that he wanted to plate on. Plating is just as important.
Sorry, just many questions about that. So yes, this cooking demo is being recorded. I'm going to send the link to the recording to everyone after this event. And the recipe, I just sent the link again. The recipe is on Anina Belle's blog, lechefswife.com. And then you can type les Petits Farcis Niçois and you will get there.
Ok. Tu me donnes les...
Le tombe est là, le tombe.
Oui, non, mais je voulais les tomates. Ce sont les plus beaux. The tomatoes are the most, and the onions. He specifically kept them on the side so that I wouldn't put them on the plate because I think he wants to eat those. So to plate les petits farcis, we have les petits farcis that we did earlier, the magic of TV cooking, right? Or Zoom cooking. This is the dish that we took out of the oven just before the cooking class. So these are fully cooked. They cooked for the hour and 15 minutes. And we're going to plate them. See what they look like here.
And when we plate them, it's very important to put the juice inside the pan, inside the petit farci. When you plate, let's see.
And be very careful as you're moving them because the tomatoes are soft. You don't want to break apart the tomato. So
Can you twist the camera just a little bit? We don't see the plate actually.
Yes. Is that better?
That's perfect. Yes.
Oh, and he's wiping the side of the plate. Which one do you want me to use next?
Petite courgette.
Une petite courgette. Okay.
Courgette.
Bravo.
We're missing two zucchini already.
I wonder what happened to those. And then a little onion. C'est beau. And then we're going to put a little bit of the juice first.
Let's see, because the juice, you can see this on the pan. And when you read this after one day, you need to put, the water as we told, and you have all of this juice. You see this juice? We put inside, the Petits Farcis. Look at that. Voila.
Oh my gosh, that's so.
Because if you say, oh, the meat, it's already dry, the meat is not dry because it's all of the way cooked, and after you put a little bit of this juice, believe me, you will have nothing dry. Les bords d'assiette, on fait les bords d'assiette. Il faut faire les bords d'assiette, ça c'est important. Hein. On n'envoie pas les assiettes comme ça avec des taches autour, on fait les bords d'assiette, les petits bords d'assiette.
En anglais?
Les bords d'assiette. En anglais, les bords d'assiette.
He always wipes the rims of the plate so that we don't have a dirty plate, because that would not be professional.
Et voilà.
And then I'm going to take la salade à l'ail. Oh my gosh, this looks so good.
Et voilà.
Voilà.
You can put, if you want, the red bell pepper, but it's enough. Right?
Yeah, I would offer 2.
We place our favorite on the plate. You see that? You see?
I would offer 2 to 3 vegetables per person, depending on the size. He's probably going to eat 6, is the reality. And he's already eaten 2. But we'll do about 2 to 3. Oh, 1 second.
You see the plate? Look at that. This is a Petit Farcis magnifique. Hein?
Viens avec moi, mon amour. There you go. So les Petits Farcis, a perfect recipe for Bastille Day. Mamie Pierrette is in our hearts with this recipe. This is why I love, this is actually what started me on the blog, is after I had my daughter, I wanted to keep these recipes for her, because she didn't live in France. She's French, but she was born in the United States, born in Washington, D.C. And I've spent so many years cooking alongside my husband. I wanted to preserve this culinary muscle memory. And that's what Le Chef's Wife blog has been, is just really writing down the recipes that he knows by heart. They're not found in recipe books necessarily. This is really us sitting down in the kitchen together with a glass of wine and writing down the recipes that he grew up with and that we cook all the time as well. I love French Riviera cooking because it is light and fresh and seasonal, and brings a lot of joy to our house. It brings joy to people that we share the cooking with as well. Tu me cherches la baguette? Ah, and I did a baguette this morning as well. If they're right there, babe.
Elles sont là.
If you haven't tried the baking baguettes for beginners recipe that I have on my blog, please do try it. It is the easiest baguette you could ever make in your life. It takes less than 2 hours to make an entire baguette from scratch. And they are crusty on the outside and soft and delicious on the inside. And they will go very, very well with la sauce. I'm actually going to tear off some here. Do you want to show what it looks like inside? And put it in the juice, baguette in the juice with the Petits Farcis. It's just so good. C'est bon? Any questions for us?
Très bon.
We kept to our hour.
Yes, I have one actually, because somebody was asking about what to do. You put it in the fridge, etc. And I remember, I don't know if it was my grandmother or my mother, but some of them we were doing, because we had a huge vegetable garden with many tomato plants. So my mom was doing this tomate farci, which is with a little bit of rice in it. And but I can't remember whether she would put them into the freezer after having cooked them because it was the leftovers, or whether she was planning ahead because she was a doctor and she was planning ahead and preparing the whole thing with the raw meat and then putting it in the freezer. So what would you do? Would you freeze them after having cooked if it's leftovers, or would you plan ahead and prepare everything and have it raw into the freezer?
I think I will freeze them, raw, and I will cook them after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we answer to the question, say it will be better, the day before, but one more time, don't forget that it's fresh vegetables with ground meat inside. You will have this sensation is dry, but it's not dry, if you reheat this well, or if you nature your vegetable with the juice we have on the pan. Mm-hmm. Because the story of Les Petits Farcis is not to have a ton of sauce, like fond de veau or demi-glace inside, No, Petits Farcis Provençal, it's something like it's breathe the sun, ça respire le soleil. It's something that it's very natural, not very fatty, and when you eat the vegetables with the meat, you have this sensation of, or it's hot, nice, and you take it, you want to have the sensation of the vegetables cooked and the meat a little bit dry, because this is a mix of both of them in the mouth. Say, wow, we are here in south of France. After that, yes, with garlic, the parsley, the nutmeg and everything else. But yeah.
So you're making us so hungry.
We have a lot of Petits Farcis. Like I swear, we've got 3 racks of Petits Farcis, which we're going to figure out what to do with.
Tina is asking, can you cook the rice in the juice?
So I would pre-cook the rice. I would boil the rice and then mix it with the juice once the rice is already cooked.
Yeah, it's better.
So that you get a good cooking time on the rice.
Yeah, because if you want to cook with the juice, you will not have enough juice, and you need to put more water. It will be less taste.
Yeah, because there you're getting the concentrated juice from the meat and the vegetables, which would just be good for tossing the rice after it's done and while it's still hot.
And actually, Sandra earlier, she was asking if you can give us a show, if you can show us your kitchen. So maybe you can give us just a tiny tour.
Yeah.
I don't know if you.
Okay.
It's a very small kitchen.
I'll take you around our kitchen. So here's our kitchen. Is the entire width of our kitchen right there. And so we have, and to show you what it looks like from behind here, I've got my stand on the cupboard, and I've got our rest, and it's a small kitchen.
It's a small kitchen. Yeah.
I'll show you, take the pans.
You want to see the pan, yeah?
Oui.
Bon, we have tu peux aller un peu plus haut. Un peu plus haut comme ça. Bon, we have the seau à champagne, the ice bucket, donc Pérignon, collector. You have the Monvielle. You have the Ricard glass, the Ricard apéritif sud de la France. Hein? And after you have Baby Yoda with.
That is my.
He's protecting the kitchen, with a small ice cream.
I'm enthused.
And you have the small. We have the Monvielle, for the sauce, the small saucière, the smaller one, different, the saucière. After you have this for the side, the Monvielle, put the side. And the Monvielle for presentation, for Provençal competition. And after you have the Le Creuset, cocotte. This is for the white eggs to make a soufflé. And you have this one for the tatin. Tatin. After you have you have this. This is the best one, the apilco for the real crème brûlée. Do we make the crème brûlée in the course?
Yes, not in the course. We haven't done it in the course.
We need to make the crème brûlée with the real one. Very nice. And
I absolutely agree.
We have the collection of the books collection. You have the Ducasse, the Bocuse.
Tu veux dire bonjour, Valentina?
Okay.
And then we have a few of the diplomas from the Chaîne de Rôtisseurs. Sébastien is a member of Chaîne de Rôtisseurs. This is his diploma from Le Bocuse d'Or. He was the coach of Team Canada of the Bocuse d'Or in 2015. And this is my uncle Benoit with Paul Bocuse. This is the article of us that first appeared in Edible DC, and also Sebastian in Bonjour, Valentina, and my daughter, Valentina.
Bonjour, Valentina.
And Sebastian in the Washington Post food section for a dinner he did with Jean-Louis Paladin, or for Jean-Louis Paladin with Jacques Pepin when he was executive chef of the Watergate. So that's our kitchen. Any questions? And the
Love
amount.
it. It's a very beautiful kitchen. And can you show us the little table with the chairs overlooking the garden? That's my favorite part.
This is my favorite part as well. And this is where we have coffee every morning. We have coffee every morning together at 6 o'clock. He leaves for work at 6:30, 6:45 at the latest. And we have coffee together in the morning. And we have our herb garden in the back, which I don't know if you can see, and our overgrown lawn. So please don't judge. We haven't cut our grass. But yes, we have our herbs. There, I have basil and oregano and thyme and lemon thyme, which is one of my favorites as well. Yeah.
Oh, I have lemon thyme as well.
Love lemon thyme. It is my absolute favorite.
Thank you so much for showing it. It's absolutely gorgeous. And we have a popular demand here for the next classes, crème brûlée and tarte tatin.
Oh my
Crème
gosh.
brûlée, yes, crème brûlée. We haven't the crème brûlée. Tarte tatin is September, the good season, you know, and the crème brûlée will be very nice because this is the real, les vrais moules, the real moles, the real clay, very nice.
So we have friends that just had a baby that I think will be receiving some of these Petits Farcis. And I don't know if John is on the call, but John is expecting twins and his wife is due at any moment. So John and Megan, wishing you all the best as
Je vais
well.
vous montrer les petits farcis comme ça. Montre
Ils sont
celle
pas
du
finis?
Non, mais c'est l'étape, tu vois, c'est bien.
Okay. Bread. So good.
Look at that. You see that the crumb you put on the top, you know, you don't have the coloration. It doesn't burn. It's very nice. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you can see on the eggplant, for example, you have the juice, the natural juice of the meat. You know, here you see this color. It will tell you that it's cooked, you know, well.
Mm-hmm.
It's helping.
But we still have 45 minutes before it's finished. We're gonna put that back in. Any other questions? No, we're good.
Yes, and don't forget that all of the oven in the kitchen, they are very different, you know, the temperature we put and the timing. It's always good to double check because it's never the same, unfortunately, because it's not the same brand or the same oven. You know, it's always good to double check. You know, sometimes it will give you an idea. Don't say you put them on the oven and you came back 1 hour 15 later. You know, it's always good to open a bottle of wine, to drink some rosé, and you open the oven and you look at it, you know, 2 times before you say it's good.
You want some more water? Okay. If there's no more questions, we will leave you here. What lip color am I wearing? I am wearing only lip liner with a little bit of chapstick. It's MAC. I think it's the one that goes with Russian red, but it's just lip liner actually, that I fill in my lips a little bit.
I have a question.
Yes.
I think I made a mistake on the onion. The onion is meant to retain the bottom. Is that right? Or will this
Yeah,
work?
no, no worries. It's perfect like that because sometimes, you know, the onion, when you cut it, the different layers, you know, if you take 2 or 3, you are going to open your onion like yours, but it will be perfect. No worries. What you can do, you know, on the bottom, you can put a little piece, you know, that you cut on the knife, and you put like that on the bottom. It will be perfect.
You take one of the outer layers and just cut it and lay it flat underneath your onion.
So onion repair.
Onion repair, exactly.
Yes.
No need to stitch it together, just place it like
Yes,
that.
and you do this just because it will be better for you, you know, to take it after cooking, you know, with a spatula, to take it, you know, with your spatula, and to help that the stuffing doesn't fail, you know. But no worries, it will be perfect. It will be good.
Thank you. Merci.
Well, thank you so much. Any more questions? Anyone wants to speak up? Sarah, no? No. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Anina Belle and Sébastien, for letting us step into your kitchen once again. And I wish everyone a great summer, and we will be back in the fall, right?
And please share your photos of your Petits Farcis Niçois on Instagram and tag Le Chef's Wife. I will be happy to share them, and it makes me so happy to see your cooking. It brightens my day. So please do share. Merci beaucoup.
Merci.
Merci.
Bye.
La Bastille.
Bye.
Bye.